Alright. Hey guys, Seth SU Fly Fishing. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about flies for beginners. Okay, we're going to talk about what flies you need, what flies you don't need. Hey guys, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about flies, different types of flies, flies that are, Hey guys, Seth SU Fly Fishing. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about different types of flies. Not only different types of flies, but what kind of flies should you be looking for and when, okay? This is going to be a fairly short video because even though there's a whole lot of information on flies, different types, different patterns, the basics are pretty general. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over first types of flies. Second, we're going to talk about what kind of forage are you imitating in your body of water. And then third, I want to talk about specialty type things for flies, okay? Because there's some new stuff coming out, or newer stuff coming out, that makes people a little intimidated when looking at flies, okay? So what I want to do is I want to kind of simplify it, compact it, and give you a place to start. So the first thing we're going to do when you start off with flies is there are four types of flies, okay? All right. First type of fly we're going to talk about, this is a dry fly. I have a bunch of terrestrials sitting on my desk right now because it is summer, so big bugs. Dry flies sit on top of the water, present either a fly that's laying on the film or a fly that has died. You're presenting something that is on top of the water in its adult stage of life, okay? Typically, whenever you throw a dry fly, you're throwing in a hatch, okay? You see a bunch of flies flying around, you see fish going up and eating, okay? Just drop my hopper. My hopper. Right here, okay? So, when throwing dries, what you want to do is you want to try to imitate whatever is flying around you, okay? It's a good practice. Now, to a second type of fly. This is a nymph. It imitates a bug. It imitates the adolescent stage of insects, okay? It's in the water, lower in the column, okay? Typically, whenever you're throwing a nymph, you're throwing something that has either just hatched or something that is about to hatch or about to start hatching, okay? A nymph is probably 90% of a trout's diet, I want to say, and it is one of the most effective types of flies, okay? Now, the third type we're going to talk about is what's between a dry, between a nymph, okay? And I got to find one real quick. Right back. This is what's known as an emerger pattern, okay? Typically, what the emerger pattern does is it imitates a fly hatching. Now, emergers are not dries and they're not nymphs, so they're not on top of the water or not below the water. They're right in that film in the in-between, right there. So they're about to hatch. And a lot of times you know that they're eating emergers. One of a telltale sign is when they're Okay. A lot of times you'll see fish shooting out of the water, okay? Shooting out of the water. I have found that a lot of times when they're doing that, they're eating emergers. Whenever they... No. So what this fly imitates is something that's not yet an adult. You're imitating something that's not yet an adult, okay? And it basically is what right before a fly takes off, okay? So, emergers, okay? That's right in between. So newer, when I say newer, I mean like, I think it was like, I forget when emergers came out. It was like a while ago. But considering how old fly fishing is, it's a newer type of fly. Okay, now, the last type of fly that you can throw is a streamer. This is a woolly bugger. Very simple. Streamers imitate big bugs, imitate bait fish, imitate crustaceans, imitate larger forage. Typically with streamers, you're fishing for bigger or more aggressive fish. That is what you're going for. Whenever you see someone throwing streamers, you typically think of big browns or aggressive smallmouth. That's the big streamers are what you throw when you are purposely targeting aggressive carnivorous fish. Okay? So, with that being said, what do I look for whenever I'm starting off making a fly box? Okay? When you first start out fly fishing, there are 4 types of bugs that are in every single body of water. They all come in different variants, but every single body of water, you can find one of these types of bugs. And some are more prevalent, some are barely there, but more than likely, I'll throw in an addendum, some don't have certain types of bugs, but 99% of the time, they have at least 3 of these types of flies, okay? So, these are good bets. These are very, very popular types of bugs, okay? 1, midges, okay? Well, what imitates a midge? Griffith's gnat, zebra midge. Look for those, okay? Get different sizes. Typically, they're between 18 and 24. They're your smaller, more winter-type flies, okay? 2, caddis. What do I look for? Elk hair caddis, hare's ear nymph. Those 2. There's different variations. Find out and go through which ones you think of. Whenever you are going through and seeing what works for a type of body water, buy 2 of each of the different types that you see that you want to try out, okay? Also, look for forage. Look for something, see if it matches the area. Does it work every time? No, but it gives you a good idea of what you're looking for, okay? Now, this one right here, this is probably one of the most popular types of flies anywhere, okay? Anywhere. Mayfly. What am I looking for? Pheasant tail, okay? And then for dries, Adams. Look for an Adams, okay? These are anywhere between size 12 all the way to size 20. This is a very, like, there's so much variance in these flies. This will be probably your most used / most diverse type of fly you have. With the caddis, I usually have an elk hair caddis that I like to throw for caddis, and then or a corn-fed caddis. Those 2 usually I'll type a few of those when I know caddis are hatching real good. And then for nymphs, flashback hare's ear with a bead head. So flashback hare's ear or bead head flashback hare's ear. I don't know. Has a bead head, has some flashback. It's a hare's ear. That is those 2 for caddis. Now with mayflies, you are going to be, that will be your most quote-unquote confusing and box-filling fly, okay? But if you're going to start out, the basics is a pheasant tail and an Adams. The last one is a favorite for those who hate small flies, and it's a favorite for trout during high water. honestly, it's just a good bug, and this is stoneflies, okay? Now, there's a lot of different imitations of stoneflies, all right? In fact, a lot of times, there's not even a name for them. It just says it's a stonefly with someone's name in front of it, okay? Look for a nymph that sets lower in the body, in the column of water, and then up top, a very good imitation and all-around fly any new beginner should have in their box is called a stimulator. Stimulator imitates stoneflies. Stimulator imitates everything. And you need it in your box for a dry dropper. You need it in your box to imitate stoneflies or big caddis, big sedge. You need stimulators when you're first starting out. I would encourage you to get anywhere between a size 4 to a size 10 stimulator in your box. Get a few of them, put them in there, use them for your dry droppers or whenever you see big stoneflies or salmon flies. Now, that being said, those 4, that is your main thing. In the summer, something happens wonderful. That's wonderful. Big aggressive fish eat. Where did I put my hopper at? Where in the world? Where did that go? Oh yeah. Big aggressive fish eat terrestrials. Hoppers. Here's a... Oh, come here, beetle. This beetle's trying to get away from me. It's camera shy. Beetles. This is a June bug pattern, okay? Well, salmon flies, stone flies, big, ugly, foam body flies in the summer. These are very particular to summer. Now, why I say this is because when you're filling up your box when you're first starting, you're going to see stuff like this. You're going to go, ooh, that looks like something I could use right now, and it's in November. No. The first 4, midges, caddis, mayflies, stoneflies. Those are your starting point. Then branch off to other things. Terrestrials. Squirmies. I just tied up a bunch of these for smallmouth. They work really good where I live for smallmouth. Here's an awful fly that most people don't think is a fly. An egg. That's one of my most productive types of flies. It's an egg. Why? Because it's an easy calorie-filled meal for a trout. So I think that covers pretty much everything for flies, okay? Everything else is built upon these, okay? And I think that the more that you get into fly fishing, the more I realize I have about, for Southwest Virginia, I have about 12 flies. 12 that I know. I'll cycle through them. If it doesn't work, I don't know if anything else is going to work. And these 12 flies I have a lot of confidence in. They vary from streamers to very small midge nymphs. And I know I can cycle through and at least one of them will catch fish. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to find for your body water you're fishing that there's going to be a group of flies that's going to end up dominating your fly box. So the only way you know is to go out and fish. So I encourage y'all to go out, try whatever you find, try new flies after you get your basics down, and see if anything works. And then you're going to get into something called attractor flies. And you know what they imitate? Nothing. They're just flashy, like the red dart. Red dart is one of my best tailwater flies. Does it imitate anything? Not really. Does it work? All the time. Don't know why. But the purpose is, the reason I say that is because I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone out and I tried and done new things. But everything started with my basis. Those 4 flies, well, I almost said 3. Those 4 flies, and then I went to terrestrials as a 5th later on. So I hope this is helpful, guys. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And as always, guys, tight lines and blessings. And go out and go fishing. It's hot outside. Wait till it's morning or evening, or I don't know. I got to stay inside because I got to work and get ready for vacation. Go fishing.